Like all around type of guy.
Welcome to the club.
And he's a poet. Yeah, you've been there,
Been there, done it.
Next we got Mr. David Mack over here. Now, David Mack is actually not a Mac. So he's actually one of the most humble guys I know. He's always trying to find one girl. So David Mack will be playing a disgruntled barber guy that comes to the community, just got out of jail. I don't want to give too much, but he has his opinion on why he's not trying to hear anything about the system because it doesn't fail for him, what it's done to his family, his father, his mother, his stuff like that. Then over here we got Monty G.
Monty G.
He's the original G.
He's the man he is.
I'm in the play?
Yeah, you didn't know, but you in it now. I actually wrote a part for you to just come on and do what you do. Every time I go to Barbershop, I see him down at Snooze Barbershop. He's doing the same thing, characters, everything.
I'm crazy, I'm finna tell you. Y'all gonna see me in the play, I'm gonna be bugging.
So he's gonna get an opportunity to come on stage and be Monty G. He ain't even got no rehearsed lines. Monty, just go into the barbershop and start your impersonations. But Monty G is one of the most talented dudes I always respected from the game.
Indeed.
And I remember when I came home from getting in trouble, and Monty said, Rick, man, okay, I know you only from this. But he came to me the other day and made me feel so good when he see my track record and what I kept accomplishing and gave me one of the biggest compliments. So Monty G is not only a friend of mine, but he's actually an inspirer. And I appreciate with you, somebody as much talent as you've done, to tell me what you did.
You've been doing big things, Rick.
Thank you. And anybody else here from my cast?
Behind you.
Is some here? Crystal not from the cast.
Him.
Oh, it's Bradley Isaiah is here. This is Bradley Isaiah is a film man, has his own company. Great film guy. He's taped all my shows. But in the play, he's going to be playing, because in Barbershop, you have to cover everything. Like, anybody that know my writing, I try to keep it as real as possible. So he's actually the bad guy in it. So, but he does it very well.
Oh, he looks too nice to be a bad guy.
Oh, you ain't seen him yet. You better come see the play. You're going to think different at you start. But what I'm going to have him in come, he's doing is, he's going to play the guy that been through something. I hope that's not my phone. No, it ain't mine. There ain't no blooper on me. Look, I don't know who it is though, but
the Lord is calling.
But
Did you say the Lord is calling?
The character.
Who said that?
The character.
God's call.
His character is basically just going to be a guy that's in a lost state at the moment, and the barbershop is going to help him get it together by any means necessary.
All right, so we're going to go to a break, and when we come back, we're going to have actual barbershop talk. We're going to still talk about he can be faithful. We're going to talk about the friend zone, because we still haven't heard from Crystal. So we're going to have some real barbershop talk, because I know I talk in the hair salon.
In the hair salon?
In the hair salon. So I talk all the time, you know? I guess you can see that.
Crystal,
anyway, let's go to a break. Thank you to Howard.
You're the whole premise
Gilliam.
of everything now. I hope you're ready for this.
Howard Gilliam Jr., starring Rick Watson. He just, once you get a mic in his hand, like this is Rick Watson there.
Oh my God,
anyway, we're gonna go.
Rick, oh my God.
Y'all is out of control.
Go ahead, Monty G, take us out. Take us out.
Oh my God, I love Rick Watson. He's the #1 man in Philly. He's Tyler Perry, big time. He got it going on. The barbershop, y'all gonna be off the hook. Y'all better come and check it out for real.
You heard me?
Give him a beatbox.
Yeah.
Take us out.
Barbershop. It's the best. Yeah.
Let's go to a break, y'all. Right here.
Monty G.
Think on a Saturday night. All right, we are here. This is the behind the scenes, and this is the audience reaction. How do you feel about the friend zone?
So I feel like the friend zone is a really important place. It is the foundation of any relationship you start as friends. So I truly believe every time I meet somebody, they're immediately in the friend zone. Now, of course, you get these people who are like in the friend zone, and they're trying to push through. They're trying to be on the other side. They don't like that friend zone. But you have to be ready. Like me personally, I'm not ready for a relationship. I know that. So I'm not gonna get into something and treat you bad and have you hate me. I'd rather just be a really good friend to you until something happens, if it does.
When I say the friend zone, that means I'm not interested. I'm gonna be honest.
Okay, so friend zone, not interested. You want to talk? What do you feel about the friend zone?
I don't know.
Look, men can't always. They never answer. What do you feel about the friend zone?
I think if you with somebody and y'all cool like that and y'all kick it like that, that's what it is. but they also have to know it ain't gonna go no further than that. That's real.
Hey, welcome back to Single on a Saturday night, right here at TGI Friday, 4000 City Ave. We do this every fourth Saturday, and you are welcome to join us. And we're also airing every Wednesday, 10:30 p.m. on Comcast 66, Fios 29, and you can always go to the website, singleonsaturdaynight.com. Follow us, subscribe, be a part of our lives, because we want you to be a part of our lives, because we talk real stuff. Now we're about to get into some real conversation, right? Let's have some barbershop talk. Barbershop talk. Don't forget barbershop. When is it play?
Yeah, we didn't talk about the date. It's January the 12th. It'll be here for 2 shows. It starts the tour in Philly, and all the investors are coming out. So January 12th for 2 shows. It's at the Levick Auditorium, which is across the street from the Kimmel Center, where we did one of the plays you was in. Directly across the street on Broad Street, 401 South Broad Street. And it'll be 2 shows, one at 4 p.m. and one at 7 p.m.
All right. All right. Thank you so much. So let's get into He Can Be Faithful, Kel'li. All right. So there was something in the book. It says something about we're here to help them and transforming their lives. I'm just thinking about the whole we're here to help them. Have you ever thought, like, I mean, anybody, is that what women are here for, to help? Is that how you operate? Is that how you think? Is that what you think? I know you like to cook. I mean, I said that like that, but I didn't mean to say it like that. But is that what we are here to help?
I feel like we kind of help each other. But, you know, where I'm strong may not be my husband's strong points, and where he's strong may not be mine. So it's not even about I'm there just to help him. You know, I help myself, he helps me, we help each other, we help our community, we help our family.
Okay, you just do a lot of helping. Okay, thank you for helping. Is that what you meant by it when you say we're here to help?
What I meant by it was strictly when we were defined the help meet, just from the beginning. So it's not necessarily like, oh, you're just the help. And it was really like men are getting lost in this particular era, where it's like, you know what, we got so many women empowerment segments and so many women brunches and empowerment, and we going out and loving on each other, and it's like I've been in situations where men couldn't even take a close picture together. Like you feel what I'm saying? Without being labeled as something extra. We'll be like, if he was coiffed it just like this with his homie, it's like, what are they doing? I don't understand. And it's like, why can't? It's almost like what's good for the goose is not good for the gander anymore. And it's always it's like, yes, we needed the women's rights and we needed stuff that we weren't allotted to in previous years, but it's like we can't just forget about him, because he's getting lost in that wave where it's like, okay, we are all that in a bag of chips with the crumbs in the bottom, but he's still all that too. So we can build ourselves up while still building him up also. So I that's what I meant by keeping that help role in place. It's nothing wrong with being empowered, but I don't want to go back home to Law and Order and my dog. I want to go back home to some loving arms, to a man. I don't care how much we vibe today. I still want to go back home and be his help. And I mean, cultivating things in him that he doesn't even know that he has. He might want to start a business. He might want to get a business off the ground. We can get into our secretarial bag and say, babe, what kind of business you trying to start? He might not have the avenues. He might not have the resources. We can be Google.com all day, babe. Let me see what you said. What business? Barbershop? Let me Google plays and where he could set up at and where he could do this. It's nothing wrong with being a help.
And it's funny she talks about that, because that's what we talk about in the barbershops, you know, is how what the women don't do, what we don't do. It's our time to have our safe haven and talk about it. But it's things like that. It's simple as just being complimented. Like sometimes men just want to be complimented. That's why in the barbershop we're so free to talk about anything we got. When we sometimes in front of your mate, you're on eggshells. Like sometimes she might just not want to agree, or she might not want to and might not understand our point of view. And I understand women too on that side. I understand women and men going through different things, because we don't always see everything eye to eye. But when you take on the psych, like you would be allowed into the barbershop club, Kel'li be able to come in. Kel'li, tell them so we know what to say to our wives or something, or whatever, significant other to say. But it's important that you say that, and that's some of the things about barbershop that's all going to be addressed in there, how we could come together, because sometimes, like us as people of color, we don't do therapy. Anybody here do therapy? We don't do therapy. So our therapy is the barbershop sometimes. because we're one-on-one with men, and we get to get our points of view across. And actually, men will be honest with you too.
Exactly.
If you're wrong, we're not going to say, oh yeah, everything you say just good and right. So that's one of the things that I love about the barbershop. And some reason when you in the barbershop, a man could say it to you the same way your woman might say it to you. You might not take it as offensive, I guess, because you ain't got to go home with him. But when you're home, you're in your safe haven place, and sometimes a woman can say something to you a certain way, and it's taken as like, look, you don't have to attack me all the time. Go ahead.
Can I say one thing?
Go ahead.
I had a scenario where I was coaching a woman privately without her husband, and she said he was ready to leave her for a girl who had nothing. Mind you, this woman makes 7 figures, wonderful house, wonderful car, established herself so well in life, multiple businesses, just a beautiful girl. I'm talking about dress you underneath the table, all of the qualifications that you think she should have and not be single. But however, when he came home, it was a pivotal moment for them. He had came home and he had almost lost his job. Not lost it, but almost lost it. And he had said some things to his director that had put him in a touchy situation where he didn't know if he would have a job the next day. So he called her expecting that safe haven, like you said. He called her expecting that non-judgmental place to be able to convey to her exactly what happened today in my life. So he calls her on the phone and he said, listen, babe, I was arguing with the boy at my job, you know what I mean? And I said a couple things to him that I shouldn't have said. And, you know, I don't know what it's going to be like tomorrow, but it is what it is. And she said, why would you do that? Knowing what you got at stake. Why you ain't just keep your mouth shut? He didn't ask you for an opinion. When somebody asks you for opinion, they'll ask you, what do you think about this? They'll ask you a question. An interrogative will be placed in that fashion. But sometimes we'll interject our own opinion without being asked. And we're not effectively listening to a man. And that becomes judgmental.
So basically, I mean, I guess we're women that's just supposed to just keep all our stuff to ourselves and be quiet, and is that
not necessarily being quiet?
Tactful, really.
Yeah, that's what it is, but tactful. But I think, like, as a wife, that she's supposed to be able to have an authentic reaction. And I understand that he had a bad day, but if she reacted that way, I'm assuming that she must be having a bad week or a bad life, because when she got that news, it threw her life off track. So for her, if she really felt that way as a therapist, I would be like, you should react that way, and then the two of y'all can deal with it. But at the time when he came home and said, baby, I don't have a job, if she was just to suck it up and be like, okay, honey.
Well, he didn't lose the job.
Or
he was
way.
just telling her about how his day went. And mind you, he knows where he messed up. He knew he shouldn't have said that. He knew that, dag, what I had on the line. He doesn't need to be reminded of that.
So what do you think she should have done?
I think go ahead.
Well, my point is this. You should actively listen and ask him a question. So what do you think that you're going to do next? What is your ask him? What do he think his next move is going to be?
I think you have to stay a team. Go ahead.
I don't think that every woman knows how to be supportive. Every woman that's supposed to be a strong woman doesn't understand how to be the backbone that the man needs. The reason why I say that is because I'm in the process of starting an employment agency, and I was preparing a business agenda because I had a meeting coming up with Kenyatta Johnson. And me and my lawyer had specifically picked her because she claimed that she had these degrees or whatever. So I handed her the degree and I asked her, to read over and tell me what her thoughts on it was. She offered none. Not just that, but she left me hanging on the meeting. So it was just me and my lawyer that went into this meeting. I say that to say she made all these promises that, she liked what I'm doing. Everybody said they liked the company that I'm starting and, the idea. And she said she wanted to be my biggest supporter, but she was my biggest loser because she was the one that never showed to the meeting. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I just don't think that every woman knows how to be the backbone that the man needs. You understand what I mean?
Absolutely. It's so much strength and sometimes just actually listening. I mean, it's hard when you come from this place where you think you so built up that you can't really listen. Yeah. You really losing. Well,
I think that's what it is, and I think with people, I'm gonna let you get right in, but I think that people once I think sometimes when you get in a relationship and you've been with somebody a while, they get stagnated to the point of everything becomes like not like it was in the beginning. In the beginning, you were very supportive. You had their back. You was understanding. You would listen first, then comment.
Exactly.
Want to understand where it's
Romantic
going. Romantic love.
Romantic
well, I'm
love.
always romantic, so.
No. And I say this all
But anyway,
the time.
but-
If you've
but-
been in a
but-
relationship for longer
No,
than 10 years,
Well, I ain't been in one that long, but I still wouldn't let it go. No.
All right, we're going to go
But
to
anyway.
a break, and we're going to hear from Nikki Phelps, because she is the actual human sexuality therapist. So you're going to...
functional family therapist,
All right,
cognitive
that's it wrong?
behavior. No, in addition to.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was like, I said...
She ain't allowed in the barbershop.
But that's the thing. It's the barbershop. Thank you
want
to
the
Howard
method, yeah.
Gilliam Jr. of New Video Production, Groove Boy Entertainment, of course, Alvina Styles, and she has the nice bling, jewelry. I like this. It's different. It's really nice. But anyway, AlvinaStyles.com, and of course, Rashida Stewart of the all-new Lotus Beauty Spa. Let's go. Being quiet is not a thing for women, huh?
No, I mean, I think the friend zone depends on the relationship. If I'm in the friend zone, I'm cool with being in the friend zone because that's the relationship we got. It's all about communication. That's, I think, the breakdown to me. So, friend zone, and the friend zone can still get you the cookie. Don't know that too, though. I'm sorry.
I like that. Keep it real. The friend zone can still get you the cookie. You start out as friends. So you wrote the book, Kel'li Sherrene. So, what was your perspective on the friend zone? You a fan of the friend zone or no?
I like the friend zone if that's what he's supposed to be. But and if he's supposed to get the cookie and that's what we supposed to be doing, then that's cool too. But when you want somebody that's solid, the friend zone is really just for that. We just friends. We ain't gonna be nothing else. But I also need to treat my man accordingly and let him chase me a little bit. Let him actually win the prize. Can't campaign till he win the election. Come here, babe. What you think about the friend zone? This is my man. Look, come on. Tell him what you think about the friend zone.
The friend zone, I mean, I guess it works. You know what I'm saying?
Was you in the friend zone first?
I was. You know what I'm saying? Then I jumped out the parachute. Jumped out with no parachute and I ended up in the right zone.
I'm not a fan of it. I'm not a fan of it. Now, you're either in or out, kind of thing.
You're either in or out, friend zone or not.
All right. Be lukewarm. You gotta be hot or warm, hot or cold.
So no friend zone for you. All right, we're gonna ask one more person. We're gonna say, are you a friend of the fans? Are you a fan of the friend zone? The friend zone. She missed the friend zone. You missed
Like, what do you mean?
what we just talked about on the show.
Like the way she said you should put people in the friend zone. I think that there are some benefits to it because you can learn about the person better. So is there a benefit? Probably. Probably is a benefit. Now, how long they stay there, that's a whole nother conversation.
All right, we are back. Sing on a Saturday night. I'm gonna just get right into it because being quiet, we don't all agree with that theory. We can say definitely nicely. We don't. I'm a quiet person. I'm not gonna go back. I'm more so praying as I talk. So if I have something to say to a man, but I don't feel like that's where she lost. If we are committed, whether she made a mistake and jumped back at him or not, he was ready to go anyway. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
He was ready to go. It ain't no, I jumped back. If you committed to somebody just because one time you come home, made a mistake, and she jumps back at him, he ready to go.
I'm sure that
His
it was
penis
things
was
led
ready
up
to
to
go
that.
to begin.
Yeah,
I'm thought things led up to that.
It was
Come
a
on
thought
now. One
process
time-
leading up to that. Like,
Yes.
to
It
the
wasn't
point
just
where,
That's not how realistic.
can you imagine being a man and you can't even take a nap? And what I mean by that is, as women, if a man calls us and we had a 12-hour shift or however long we were working and we say, oh, babe, I was asleep. And he just says, okay, you were asleep. You know, wonderful. A woman, when she would call, he would say, oh, I was taking a nap. Oh, you was taking a nap? For real?
Yeah, see,
Well, that's not all. That's not all. That's not all women.
I'm talking about this particular
all the women that
situation.
don't date and have a husband.
So you saying there was a lot of different
You date and have
situations?
husbands. You ain't
Hold
gonna
on,
do
Rick.
But we
There's a
had to
lot
get
of
to that.
situations that led up to that.
That led up to that.
But
I can't even sleep comfortably now.
And but it was presented. The way it was presented was that
everything was hunky-dory in hunky-dory land. He had this bad day at work. He called his woman up that we now know was still not even his wife. So he has all these expectations about a woman who's not his wife. And that apparently there's a lot of, what you gave us was a whole bunch of different information later that changes a lot of perception on how we understand.
See, well, I never mentioned it being hunky-dory.
Wait.
I never said that.
No, wait. No, I'm saying is that you gave us a lot of information that tells us that he did have one foot out the door. Because there were already a whole bunch of other problems, and this was more the final straw, or the straw that broke the camel's back. This was not, okay, that's how she lost him. No, she lost him all them other ways.
No, I didn't say she lost him. I said she lost.
Okay, well, what you said was to another woman who was willing to listen. Well, how about this? If he had the other woman that was willing to listen, he been talking to that other woman because she been listening to all the other stuff.
All right, we getting off the
barbershop. No, because it's about the barbershop. I want to bring it. Hold on.
Let's go back to the barbershop. In the barbershop, we don't listen. All right, let's listen in the barbershop.
From that scenario with the barbershop. In the barbershop, the one thing that the brothers have is generally what the women have in the beauty shop.
Right.
We have support, transparency, and honesty. When a brother's wrong, we'll call it. I can't say what the sisters will say because the unisex salons operate differently because they're too busy having battle of the sexes.
Right.
So the barbershop aspect, that same scenario, he may have been talking to her, but she may have been in the friend zone. This may have been somebody that was around because that presentation, I didn't hear that. What I heard was he was almost willing to give up everything for this woman that didn't have anything, which already in my, right. And to me, that means if he was ready to give up 7 figures and this, that, and the third, that wasn't something that just happened. Exactly. Because in this day and age and time, what has happened, which has become too normalized, is emasculating the man for whatever reason.
Right.
And then there are the brothers that don't play the emasculated male role, because I left a woman making $108,000 a year because you disrespected my privacy. Not that I had anything to hide, but you went through something of mine without my permission to look for something, and you found what you wanted to find, which was me showing that I couldn't trust you the way I thought I could. Happy with the money, things were lovely, but my peace of mind comes before all of that.
Peace of mind.
Right.
We want peace of mind instead of giving you a piece of our mind.
Exactly.
We're not trading that. As a man, we'll give up the money. We don't care what you have. It's like, man, she had that before me. I don't care about that.
Right.
But I'm going to walk out of this barbershop with peace of mind.
With peace of mind, and that's why.
And we go to the barbershop for peace of mind.
And they leave Tasha, they leave you with the good 6 figures, and they sleeping with a girl who got a mattress. And it don't even have a
But you know
dresser.
what? Sometimes that woman with a mattress, all she got is everything he needs.
Exactly.
It's not
Exactly.
about the money.
That's my point.
And I say any person
about
that's
peace.
arguing, it takes 2 people to argue.
Exactly.
So just like you told me his side of the story and what he did, I'm sure there was a reason why she jumped on him, and that's just like one-sided, because he has to be there for her just like she has to be there for him. And as in therapy, one thing I teach is how to fight fair, because sometimes I just need you to listen. We got code words for I just need you to shut up and listen. Oh, I gotta shut up. Sometimes I need advice, and it'll be talking like I don't even know if I'm supposed to say anything. But when you stop talking, like this time you want some advice.
And understanding that presentation, but she said I was coaching her.
Oh, that's another thing. When I do couples counseling or couples coaching, I might start off and do 2 or 3 sessions with one person, but individual counseling is different than couples. You can't do couples counseling with one person, because when you come to my table with couples counseling, like, I'm not allowed to talk about your bad habits if we were in a couple, and he's not allowed to talk about mine. We could talk about the facts of what happened, and then you can talk about the part you played, and I can talk about the part I played. But if we sit over there and just keep pointing each other the finger, then that's just going to be a big circle.
There's a thing called anticipated mouth. Men say, I don't want to hear that woman's mouth, that woman's mouth, or the anticipation that if I bring something to her, I'm going to hear her mouth. In the barbershop, we can talk about that freely. There are guys that's constantly looking at their watch. Yeah, man, I know we talking. I got to get out of here, man, because I don't want to hear her mouth.
Excuse me, I'm calling her at the barbershop. Hey, you want to hear my mouth? I'm calling.
It's anticipated mouth.
Is his haircut finished?
But where we understand is there's listening and then there's hearing. Sometimes women hear us but ain't listening, but listen but don't hear. And all we want is peace of mind.
But you got to give peace of mind
What's being
to get peace of
what's being
mind.
established to say that isn't happening?
I think right now what this is turned into is a back and forth debate, which is true because on both sides you need everything.
So tell us about, because we're about to come to the end.
Yeah,
so
'cause we
tell us
go to the
about when we
end.
can see the play and
All
go
right,
to your
okay.
website because you have other plays.
Yeah,
that
because I have
people
other
can
plays
buy.
going on. All right, now, actually, ironically, thankfully, I thank all y'all for this, the women and men, because all this is discussed in the barbershop. It's a point of view that's not one side took, and believe it or not, in barbershops. It's always two sides. It's men that agree and men that don't. So anyway, the beautiful thing about it is that I think we're all single for a reason. But no. And now I'm starting to understand why, even myself. Oh, that's not bad. But listen, the main thing I want to get to, a bottom line about barbershop, and I want y'all all to tell y'all friends about it, to come out and see Rick Watson, the playwright, who hasn't seen my production. I want y'all to come out. The real essence of all my plays, you can go to my website, rickwatsonproductions.com, and you can preview all the trailers and the plays that I've done. But what I want you to understand about my plays, they're always neutral plays, and they're always about some kind of encouragement. I do a lot of comedy, dramas, but we always want to encourage as much as we give the reality, the situations to find a way out, because that's what God's plan for all of us is. Even this talk show right here is planned by God for us to give some insight to encourage. And I think that everything
100%.
that you're giving that encourages people is God's work. So this play, Barbershop, is definitely it. Hopefully y'all all here come out. I don't act like y'all ain't listening back there. January 12th. Tickets? Well, cast members have tickets. You could go online at rickwatsonproductions.com. There'll be a service charge of $2. And I'll tell you the price of the seating now because everybody want to know because it's not on there. The floor seating is $65. The balcony seating is $50. That's a very good price, so don't come and say, Rick, that's too much. It's theater. It ain't $80 like when I did the Kimmel Center, so it's a lot better. But oh, actually, it's your birthday that day? He wanted everybody to know because he wanted everybody everybody wanted to bring a gift.
J. Room's birthday.
So bring J.
This will
Room.
be my presents, okay?
Single on a Saturday night.
January is a good month.
January is a good month,
That
yeah.
is our birthdays are the same
Are
day.
they?
Nikki and I's birthday is January 20th. So
Oh, I'm going to have a cake for y'all then, but it'll be one. Y'all just share. Put both of your names on.
we share.
I'm going to have a cake. Every play, I like to have somebody I give birthday cakes to. Every play I've ever done. So y'all get a cake. So y'all know. So nobody else call in and say, I want a cake. Not you twins. I don't know where y'all birthdays. The twins back there. Oh, your sister. She left.
She behind you.
How you going to be back here trying to split up the double twin? But anyway.
The egg did split, didn't it?
Anyway, real quick, I want to say to everybody, happy holidays. And Shelly, I want to encourage you to keep doing what you're doing with this great staff here. I'm so proud of all y'all. I break my nut. Every time I run in town, I run down here if I'm here to make sure I come to sing on a Saturday night. I'm so proud of this staff, everybody. I can't know everybody's name by personal, but I know all y'all faces, especially the doctor here. And you the looks. I call you the doctor, you the looks, you the hard worker, him the player.
I get a part in the play?
I'm the hard worker.
Yeah,
I'm the hard worker. Don't look over here. I'm the
I
hard
know, he
worker.
trying to look back over there.
Nikki didn't see it.
And
He's
Shelly
the player.
the anchor.
I'm the hard worker.
Much respect, y'all, and appreciate
All right.
y'all for having us here.
All right.
January 12th.
January 12th.
And now that I know I got a cameo spot, then y'all got to come and see this play.
That's
It's
right.
gonna be
That's
off
right.
the hook.
Take us out. Take
For
us out,
real.
Monty G.
I'm telling y'all, it's gonna be off the hook. Y'all gotta come and see this because we're gonna rock the house, turn it out.
Come on, Monty.
Without a doubt. This show is gonna be really fresh.
Yeah, Monty
Number one,
G.
baby.
You back in my day doing that.
All right, Kima. Are you a fan of the friend zone or not?
Yes.
Why are you a fan of the friend zone? Explain.
Because I learned that you can't give a man your all. Sometimes they take advantage and you have to wait to see if they're worth giving your all. So once you friend zone them, that's still a valuable place because it's a friendship that ain't going nowhere. And if you see that they willing to stay and they worth it, then you go ahead and give them your all.
All right, that's our take. Friend zone. I'm down with the friend zone. Check one for the friend zone. Melisha ain't saying nothing, but we're gonna let her. You want to say something? Melisha, you want to say something? Look, Melisha, friend zone or no?
For who? For me?
Are you a fan of the friend zone? Putting men in the friend zone to start off? Are you a friend zone or not?
I think that everybody should have a friendship first anyway. So a friend zone can eventually change if the situation is right. So you should start off being friends, yes. Friend zone can be good. But if he stay in the friend zone, if he don't want to be, and I don't feel he's ready to be elevated to the next level, then he probably should move on.